Whoop whoop. I am live and I'm gonna be leveling my golden dragon, like my title says. Um, yeah, don't mind my loadout right now, it's kind of fucked. I kinda wanna try, a thing. I wanna try to do the new Mines of Divan strat. Actually, never mind, I think about it and I just realized you can't actually mine when you're doing that. So, yeah. Or you can't use, like, a pet. But yeah. I'm gonna start out just with leveling this golden dragon egg to level 100. I have 2 golden dragon eggs, and I want to level them both, but obviously that's probably not gonna happen today, since it takes a long ass time to level golden dragons. But hopefully we can get a good start. And I was doing some tests, so that's why my sacks were not in my sacks. But yeah. But yeah, I'm probably just gonna be obby mining for a while here. I've obby mined quite a lot in my time. I think I've like basically leveled an entire golden dragon just with obby mining at this point, but yeah, it's pretty fun. Another thing I might try later on is actually leveling a golden dragon with ghost grinding, which probably sounds kind of mentally deranged, and that's probably because it kind of is. But yeah, I want to try it. I could also do something like Revs actually, because it is Aatrox right now. It does have half-priced Slayers, which is an absolute must for when you're doing Revs, um, because it cuts into your profit so much, because they're very expensive. They're like 100k, I think, per boss normally. So just having that spawn cost price is, and honestly, really, really nice. Also, I should be able to get my um, mining speed boost off still, even though this lobby is closing. So I'm just gonna stay. But yeah, um, I'm just gonna be leveling golden dragons for a good while here. If there's any method you want me to try out, you can tell me, and I'll try to see if I can do it. um, but yeah, otherwise, I'm just gonna be leveling golden dragons for now. It's a bit of a shame recently because the golden dragon has dropped a lot in price. Specifically, level 200 golden dragons have dropped a lot in price over the last few months. There's a couple of reasons for it. I think the main one that's really kind of killed, um, that's kind of really like hurt the price of the golden dragons have been the introduction of the updated bestiary. Because all of a sudden you could get a whole bunch of combat XP for very, very cheap. And it also like had a massive like initial burst of combat XP, which crashed the price initially. And still continues to have a pretty profound effect on the price. Now, it's not like Golden Dragon leveling is completely dead or something. It still has merit, and there's still very much reasons to do it. Um, and still, better than stuff like Scala Pet in most scenarios. But it is worse, significantly worse than what it used to be, which kind of sucks, but, it kind of is what it is. I do think generally you want to be using Ball over Golden Dragon for mining now, which was not something you always wanted to do. Um, and I think it only really applies to one method still, because there's really only one method that actually gives good mining XP, um, while also giving actual coins for mining, and I think that's like gold mining in the Dwarven mines, obviously. Um, that might not be obvious, but yeah, Dwarven mines have, with their rework, have actually introduced a really, really good money-making method, which is just mining gold in the mines of Divan, um, while you're in the magma fields. So what you kind of do is you dig out a pretty large area underneath um, the Mines of Divan gold, and then you mine it. And I think beforehand, well, actually this method it kind of relies on two different things. There's like the speed boost, which you can get from Ball, and then there's just, you know, the passive boost that you can get from Ball. Yeah, I'm explaining it in a little like weird of a way, but basically how it works is that with Ball you can get a massive boost to your mining speed, and with that mining speed boost, as well as swapping to something like full Divan armor, you can all of a sudden insta mine gold, which is very useful because that means you're obviously mining a lot more blocks per second. And you can also switch back to something like Mithril armor after you swapped to Divan's armor, and all of a sudden you are mining a ludicrous amount of gold blocks in a very, very short amount of time, which means obviously you're getting an absolutely insane amount of gold, which, you know, overall is just very nice, and can earn you quite a lot of money per hour, even just selling to NPC. And I think it used to, back when Golden Dragon prices were a lot better, it used to actually make more sense to sacrifice at least the mining fortune when you're not in a mining speed boost. Sacrifice that 50% mining fortune you get from Ball, and instead pump the XP you get from the gold into a Golden Dragon. I think that would actually made more sense. So instead of you just having Ball equipped the entire time, you would only swap to Ball whenever you pop your mining speed boost, or maybe during as well. I think during the mining speed boost as well, you keep on Ball, but then once you don't have mining speed boost, you swap back to Golden Dragon, and then you just kind of mine normally with the Golden Dragon. I think that would have been meta, but I actually think because of the prices having dropped so much, that extra mining fortune might actually make up for it. That 15% extra mining fortune might actually just straight up make up for it. So it might not actually make sense to swap to Golden Dragon after, and then, you know, just keep mining with Ball Pit instead. But I'm not actually sure, I haven't tested that. I might test that, but I haven't actually ever done that gold mining method. Which is a little bit of a shame, because honestly, it could help me in quite a lot of ways. Mainly, it would help me, you know, with increasing my magic find from my Golden Dragon, which obviously would be very nice. I think I could get an extra like 5 magic find by just upping my gold collection to like 100 mil gold. So like a total of an extra 10 if I were to go all the way to a bill, but I would probably stop at around 100 mil. Yeah. Depending obviously on how fast it is and how much money I actually make from mining gold and stuff, but more than likely I would just kind of stop at around 100 mil gold, because I'm tired. Yeah, because obviously it takes a ludicrous amount of time to get to a bill gold collection, and at least in the past I haven't enjoyed gold mining too much. I still have my gold collection at like a 30 mil or something. I think it's like 28 mil gold. I can't see gold now, I'm blind. Oh no, it's actually at 44 million gold, which is pretty good. That's really not that far off. Right? Like I'm almost halfway to 100 mil. But in general, it's not made that much money, and you know, hobby mining, for example, has just been a better use of my time for a lot of the time, right? Because it allowed me to buy some better gear that meant I could do stuff like Kudra, and just, you know, gave me access to more areas of the game. But yeah, for now I'm going to focus on just leveling a Golden Dragon too, so I don't really want to do gold mining too much. But yeah. I did test it in the past, gold mining, and the XP you get from gold mining was actually pretty decent. I still have it in my level 0 Golden Dragon video, where I leveled, or where well, I also did level, but where I tested out a bunch of different methods of how to level a level 0 Golden Dragon, because there's some different scenarios that actually apply. Stuff like ghost grinding doesn't make sense to do with a level 0 golden dragon because you don't get the damage boost, you don't get the magic find boost, for example. So there's a couple different methods that doesn't really make as much sense to use. Also because you don't have XP boosts, which means stuff like mining EXP actually becomes a little bit more effective comparatively, because you can only get a 40% mining XP boost on your pet, whereas when it's unhatched, you know you can't get like a mining XP boost or a XP boost on it at all. Which means compared to something like combat, where you can get a 50% combat XP boost, the comparative amount of XP you receive on the Golden Dragon is actually a little bit higher with mining in general. I think, right, it's like equivalent of like an extra, I think like 5 to 10% extra EXP. You would kind of like get on your Golden Dragon, which isn't too much, but it does add up, and does make a difference. But yeah, that video was also recorded when leveling Golden Dragons was basically in its heyday, because there were so many methods you could level it with, and not many people were doing it. But nowadays, I think a level 200 Golden Dragon, I don't have a cookie buff active. Ooh, that is kind of bad. I also just realized I don't. Yeah, okay, I actually have to go to the hub. Good thing I caught that, actually. That does slow down leveling as well. Also, I did not want to look at his profile. Let's pick this up. I have 3 cookies in here. Should I just... No, I'll keep these cookies in, like, my ender chest. Kind of interesting, actually, because of how... What? You can't put that item in there? What? Okay. I didn't know you can have cookies in your backpack. That's kind of weird. Anyway, I'll just put it here then. Yeah, cookie prices actually, interestingly enough, have gone down over the past couple of months, which is a good sign, honestly, because there was a long period of time where there was some actually insane inflation, where cookies jumped in price like, you know, 2-3 times. I remember cookies were up at like 12 mil a pop for a little bit during the peak of it, and that was actually also right around when I made my Golden Dragon leveling video. So in the peak of inflation, which also meant Golden Dragons were like crazy expensive. Stuff like Obby was also like going absolutely crazy. I think the prices were like at 4K a pop, whereas like now it's still on a high because there's Aatrox, which Aatrox always boost Obby prices, because people are getting into Demon Slayer more and they're spending more money on like null voids to get obviously stuff like the Atom Split and just Final Destination armor in general. Which means the obby prices always get a little bit artificially inflated. They typically come down to around 3.3 to 3.4k afterwards though. But yeah. In general, Golden Dragon leveling is just not quite as good as it used to be. I think there's still quite a lot of merit to just like leveling Golden Dragons from level 0 to level 100, compared to actually keeping them around all the way to level 200, because I think, if we look at the prices on AH, if you look at, right, obviously there's the skins, which are actually at a pretty decent price. I still have one of these skins, but yeah. As you can see, the cheapest non-leveled Golden Dragon is like 608 mil, but if we go to like level 100, there. The cheapest level 100 which has pet candy used is like 90 mil more, which is kind of crazy. And like the cheapest doesn't have pet candy used is, yeah, as you can see here, it's only it's like almost 100 mil more, which is quite good. Getting 100 mil just from leveling a Golden Dragon from level 0 to like 100 is honestly very nice, especially in something like obby mining where you're not really reliant on the buffs from the Golden Dragon. It's actually quite a lot of money you can earn. And yeah, it just kind of makes more sense sometimes to just kind of level your Golden Dragon to level 100 and then just stop there. Because for a long while, like all the way up till around like 200, you don't really get much money for your Golden Dragon levels. Because like people don't really buy level 110 and level 120 or like level 150 golden dragons. The only ones they really buy are like either level 100s or level 200s. Then there's a few people who like buy level 180s and stuff just because they want to save a little bit of money. Um, and like expect, it's basically the same as a level 200, and it does kind of make sense as well. Because if you look on AH, again, example, um, yeah, there's obviously a bunch of pets here around like level 100, a little bit higher with some pet items and stuff. But if you go kind of to the later pages, you can see there's kind of like level 170s, and you can get them for like 900 mil. Yeah, you can get like a level 150, level 170 for like 900 mil. But then you kind of go up, and then it kind of doesn't go up much. You can see like level 170s are like 900 mil, and then you kind of get to level 200 and it's like 1.1 bill. So it's like there's a 200 mil gap where there's just like no golden dragons, and that's kind of because they kind of get snatched up because people kind of save a little bit of money on the 200, so they kind of like, and then they kind of think they can level it themselves. But like when it's like level 170, people don't really buy it because it's like too far off. It's a kind of weird middle ground because it's like it's almost level 200, so like people who have it and level golden dragons are kind of more like, yeah, I'm just gonna get it all the way to 200, you know. It's easier that way. Whereas like people who are like looking to buy it, or buy golden dragons, they're more like, yeah, I don't really wanna buy it at level, or like I do kind of want to buy it at level 190 because then I can level it up myself and feel like I've done something, but yeah, a bunch of speculation you can do with pet prices. But yeah, the trend for golden dragons though for a while here has been kind of positive though, from what I remember. Let me actually just check. Okay, what? Gold? Yes. Okay. Add a filter, go pet level, and then just 200. If you kind of look at the past months here, you can kind of see it's actually been dropping a bit, huh? Yeah, it's been pretty stagnant around like 1.1 build, and it dropped a little bit to around 1 bill, 1.08 bill. Now it's still at like 1.1 bill, but yeah, 1.15, a little bit more. I can't see it all the time for some reason, but yeah, it's been pretty stagnant around this price with like kind of a trend towards being dropped. Oh my god, someone sold one for 5,000 coins. My Hypixel Dragon. What is Hypixel Dragon? Oh my god. Hello. I'm obby mining, leveling my golden dragon. It's very chill. I'm chilling for real, for real. But yeah. That's also like the main reason I do obby mining. It's like, it's very chill, but it's not completely brain dead like farming. It's kind of strikes a pretty nice balance between being kind of intensive, but also not really being very intensive at all. It's very nice for me because I can like focus on other things while I do it. I kind of can go completely autopilot, but I can also pay a little bit more attention and get a little bit better rates, and it just strikes a nice balance between being something that requires you to pay attention and something that's completely brain dead. Yeah, I do think I'm gonna switch over to doing revs in not too long though, because I just kind of want to try to do revs. Not really much more to it. But yeah, pretty. Can you do my bosses until my friends come back? Bruh. Or it's like, can you carry me for free, please? Did he leave? Can anyone kill my T1 Enderman? How can you not kill a T1 Enderman? That's like literally the easiest thing. T1 Endermans are such pushovers, man. No, can you? What? Is this guy? No, I can't. What? You're level 178 and you can't kill a tier 1 Enderman? try mining a smiley face? I could try. Vision miner is gonna kind of ruin that though. But I could try mining like a smiley face. Don't really see the point in it, but sure. Actually, I have an idea. I can go in here and I can go mining and I can go Horde Mountain and I can disable the fission miner. And now if I just mine like there. Oops, I fucked it up. Boop, 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 boop. There we go, a smiley face. And now it disappears. Yeah, people have some very funny usernames. It's like one of my favorite pastimes when playing Skyblock is just looking at people's usernames. Miner578. Johnson Guzzler. Nice. Cute. Oh my god, Cute is in my lobby? That's actually a crazy name. Imagine having the name Cute. It's kind of a flex. Also, I just realized I have to change something. Where's my prefix emblems? I want to change it to a Slayer one. I want to change it to this one. Wow. I'm only missing the Golden Inferno Rods and the Golden Sun Shields, which is kind of exciting. Cute. That's actually a good job, Chance. What? We're just doing math. And I'm pretty sure it's completely wrong, but okay. Sure. I still have like half of my RNG meter filled on Enderman Slayer. I might come back to it and just like run a Magic Find setup. See if I can finish off dropping the core whenever I kind of need coins. Because I should have a very high chance of dropping a core. Also, I don't really get, like, I get your Iron Man and you kind of need Obby, but like, why this spot, you know? Like, you could go anywhere else and you'll just have the entire place. I'm doing meth? Oh my god. I didn't know I was doing meth. Doing meth in Skyblock. Skyblock is kind of meth for your brain though, because it's kind of like, it's very addicting. It makes you feel kind of brainless, kind of brain dead, but it also kind of gives endorphins, because like, number go up. You get what I mean? You could say Skyblock is kind of my meth. That's not too far off. But yeah, I'm just gonna be doing this for like a pretty decent while. I don't actually know exactly how long it's gonna take. It's probably gonna take like probably a couple hours, huh? Doing this. I'll try to get it to level 96, and then I'll probably try to do Zombie Slayer instead. Because Aatrox. And I haven't done that in a while. Can I be your math? I don't know, can you crystallize? Can you like... Can you turn blue? Are you a smurf? I don't know. There's a lot of requirements of being meth, you know? You have to like... be blue. You have to be a cop, I mean... Something. It's kind of painful, like, leveling a pet without petty HP. Someone told me it's only 700k. Which one good? What weapon's good for one-shotting Enderman? Okay, that guy is, like, very tilted face emoji. You're Walter Gypsy? Shit! That's a pretty fire name. Why is that guy so tilted face, man? What the fuck? That guy's like, This sucks. It's just very tilted face. Night Gamer 87 90. Oh my god, I'm level 0. That's crazy. Oh my god, there's a level 418 in my lobby. Damph Coe. Jesus Christ, bro. Mostly toasty. Damn. Risrune free. Sure. Fire names. Oh, the 418 left. This is so sad. I didn't even remember his name. My carry lived to eat, sorry for forcing you to beat them for him. What? No problem. Oh, they're probably talking about Demon Slayer carries. Lightning speed boost. Go, 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 go. Toasty is cute. Oh my god, and you're hitting on Skyblock players? You know, they're like 12 years old, you know. Right? Like, they're children. Are you into children? Are you a pedophile? Oh my god. I'll have to ban you. AB4EA was killed by an Endermite. That's so sad. I'm the Dice Man? Sheesh. Cute puppy? There's so many people with cute in their name. Even met the person themselves. I don't feel like Skyblock is like a very cute game though. It's kind of like depressing. I don't know. Like the lore is pretty depressing. It's like a guy who got mad and, you know, kills his family and stuff. It's pretty tragic, honestly. Like turned them into zombies and caused a rift terror and like the dragons are like shards of corruption and like, you know, there's a lot of kind of dark things in the Skyblock lore. Even if it's not like super in depth or anything. Ah, there's another guy hobby mining. This is the first guy I've actually met not hobby mining. You normally see a lot more people hobby mining. Pretty popular method. Like, good reason, but yeah. Cat girl Judy? The fuck? Judy's like the bunny from, oh, they laughed. That's the bunny from Zootopia, no? Little, no pair. We'll have some funny names. This guy's also just chilling. Why is he mining with an armadillo pen? Is he trying to level it? Yeah, I guess he is. Armadillo kind of died though. Like it's not in the meta anymore. Also, he doesn't have Pristine unlocked in his Divine armor? What? He's level 324 and he's like a scuffed Divine armor. Oh my god, like. This guy has like a significantly worse setup, even though he's like 30 levels higher than me. Oh, yeah, almost 30 levels higher than me. Oh, now he left. What? Very weird. I don't know how much there's left on my level before I can go Zombie Slayer. I don't even know. I have like a giant sword. There's only 4% left. Should be like 1 or 2 more speed boosts. Something like that. Shouldn't be too much. I was saying something I just completely forgot. Right. I actually don't know which weapon to use when I'm doing Zombie Slayer though, because I have. Oops, sorry. Can't you see how dead you are? Like, bro, you're streaming. Yeah, I can, but I do it because I find it fun, bro. I find it fun. There's other reasons to stream than for viewers. I just like doing it because I find it fun. Wow. Wait, I have to use Studio now? That's not what I want. I want YT Studio. There we go. Okay. Can't you see my chat? Where is my chat? I don't see my chat. Jesus Christ. Well, someone is calling for my little brother. Oh my god. So spooky. There's a way to open your chat on my phone. I don't remember how to do it though. Where is it? Content? Can I see? Can I not see it? Do I have to go into the YouTube app maybe? I don't remember. View channel. There, live. Oh, I can see my own stream. Nice. Stream on Kick or something. Why would I stream on Kick? I don't want to stream on Kick. I like streaming on YouTube. Goodbye. I think this is the last speed boost before I can go do Zombie Slayer. What did you miss? I don't know. Nothing, I don't think. Although there's a guy just kind of sitting there. He's kind of floating. Boom. I thought my golden dragon would have leveled up by now. Oh my god, 0.03% of a level. Oh my god. It's so close. I need to do some tests before I do Zombie Slayer though, because like, I don't know which weapon I want to use. I have an Axe of the Shredded, which is obviously meant for Zombie Slayer, and does a lot of damage to zombies, but I don't have one for all on it anymore, and I have a giant sword as well, and I feel like the giant sword might do more damage, because it also has like better enchants and stuff, so I don't know. I'm gonna test it though, because I know I can do stuff like putting Suspicious on my aspect of the Shredded, and it should do more damage than meant with the guy. Oh, it's just a guy being a dick. It's nothing new. Told me to go stream on Kick, which was kind of funny, because like, no. Wow. Okay. Yeah. My golden dragon leveled up, so I think I'm gonna go try to do Zombie Slayer now. I'm not quite sure what armor set I should be wearing. I might just like do something like I don't even know if I like need a wooden helmet for damage anymore either. Also, where's my helmet? I put a bunch of stuff away actually. I think I put it in this chest. Yeah, I did. A whole bunch of stuff I put in here. Wait, I wasn't at what? Oh, I'm wearing my rift necklace. What? I wasn't supposed to happen. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna get my setup ready here. This is not the equipment I want to be using. I want to be using different. What the fuck is Kick? Kick is a streaming platform that has like very bad moderation and some kind of weird people, from what I've heard. I haven't actually been on it myself, mostly because I don't really see why I should go there. Because, like, why? But yeah, I think I'm gonna be using my helmet though, because it has veteran. Also, where did my helmet go? Thank you. But stopped you from dropping that item. Thank you. Can I just move my helmet around, please? Okay, so this is my. Oh, these are my Blaze Slayer dagger. Why do I have my Blaze Slayer daggers? There, these should be in here. This is my Wither Cloak. I'm not gonna need that right now, so I'm gonna put it in here. Okay, so this is my Axe of the Shredded, which is unfabled right now, which I don't think is as good as Suspicious. Yeah, it shouldn't be as good as Suspicious. So you're gonna put it in Suspicious, and then because it has like basically the same, it might be a little worse. Actually, no, I think Suspicious would be better. Then I have my Giant Sword as well, which is here. I just want to test which of these is actually like the best one for damage. Then I was like my Daedalus Axe, which there's not much reason to swap to, but I might still do it just because it's Zombie Slayer, it's pretty easy. But yeah, let me do some damage testing. Also, like, I'm probably going to be wearing at least my legs as Zoro, because I don't get any veteran from that. Might also swap out my boots for Zoro. Need to test my damage real quick, because I don't have a pet, which kind of hurts damage by a lot. Also, I apparently had like Enderman Slayer just sitting there. Cool. Also, yeah, here 48k because of Aatrox, which is not that bad. Also, I need to find a private lobby. So many things. Also, Auto Slayer shouldn't be on this. Also, yeah, I'm just gonna disable both roles because, yeah, I could maybe do it a little bit more efficient, but like spawning the boss with something else, like doing the boss with a different pet. Probably would be more efficient to do the boss with like E-Drag, but for now I'm just gonna do it like this. 200k? That's like really bad. Oh right, I don't have my power stone on the right one. I forgot because I was doing mage things in Kudra before. And yeah, yeah, I just do I need attack speed? I do need attack speed. I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do just yeah, like this. I think that should be fine. So now I do 500k with my giant sword, and I do what? 540. Basically the same, but a little bit less actually, which is kind of funny because this is like meant for zombies. So like, how? It's also in Smite, which is just even more funny. But yeah, I'm gonna put this in the hex, and I'm gonna put Suspicious on it just to see if it's actually better. Oh my god, it costs 2 million to apply. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm still gonna do it. I don't have enough coins in my purse though. That's fine. Just take like 3 mil. Oh my, not 33 mil. Also, bro, another guy found my lobby. It's annoying. Why does this always happen to me? Grr. Grr. Suspicious Vial. There we go. Yeah, that actually did increase my damage by quite a bit, it seems. Yeah, 560 something K. Also have E-Man equipped right now. I'm gonna test it just with the egg, because it doesn't give me any stats. So 530, 530. This one does 529. That was a hard hit, so 542. What? 550 actually. The question is the swipe. Maybe it does more. Oh, so whoa. Okay, I don't think it matters too much honestly, because like it's just gonna get evaporated. Does my Giant Sword do more? Giant Sword does basically the same. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know what to use. Kind of split on this. Also, I need to actually know how much combat XP. I don't know which one to use. I guess Giant Sword is just a swing range, huh? I think I'm just gonna use my Giant Sword. It's a shame, but I think I'm still just gonna use my Giant Sword because, like, Zombie Slayer, you know, like, it's just not good. The problem. Also, yeah, I don't have KB immunity, which is actually really fucking annoying. It's 4k EXP. It's really not that much. It's 6k to spawn. I think I'm just gonna do the bosses with Ender Dragon, cause like, um, I'll get a little bit of extra magic find, and I'll do a lot more damage as well. So that's just gonna be nice. Maybe I should be hyping around as well for spawning. I don't really know. I know mage doesn't work on like the boss itself either, but yeah, I think hyping around is like the play. What is it doing? It's doing like 400k only. What? Why is it doing less? Okay, so my Axe of the Shredded actually does more against the boss? That's really weird. I didn't expect that. I'm gonna put this on free. Die. What? Wait, where is he? Is he being a silly, goofy guy? There we go. But my champion got upgraded. Oh, I don't have the high level of champion on my axe, apparently. Oh yeah, it's because I used to have one for all on it. And then I swapped it out. I swapped it out for enchants because I was going to use it for aggro in master mode. Or not in master mode, in dungeons. But then I kind of decided not to. So yeah. Because it was really unreliable mainly, but yeah. Also, I'm gonna reduce these particle effects because, oh my god, there's so many of them. They're very cluttering. What they're doing to the bitrate too. Animation, also off. Let's go. Boom. 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 Oh wait, it's not equipping my E-Drag, I just realized. It's not equipping my E-Drag for the boss itself. Which is why my Magic Find is kind of dog shit as well. Also, that's already 11% on my Golden Dragon Egg. That was actually really fast. This could actually have some genuine merit to it. So go away. Yeah. I just need to actually make it do the thing. So when a Revenant Horror spawns, equip, yeah, Ender Dragon, right? I could also equip like Tiger or Lion, but I think Ender Dragon's the best choice. I don't actually know though, because like it's not in the end. So that 200% damage boost you normally get from the Ender Dragon is not actually there. Does give me a little bit more magic find, but also it's like I don't have KB immunity with it either, so I might actually just want to do like Lion or Tiger. Probably Tiger. Okay, I mean that was pretty fast. I do want to try with Tiger though. Because then I could also level up my Tiger actually. Yeah, so I think I'm just going to use Tiger. It's not like I'm going for a Warden Heart or something. I mean, a Warden Heart would be nice, but it's not exactly what like I'm going for, so... You know. Also, yeah, oh my god, this shreds. That actually shreds. God damn. Yeah, and I don't take KB. Oh, that's so nice, actually. 5-second bosses, not bad. Oh my god. I'm gonna do this probably for like an hour, and I'll see how much XP I get. So it's 1530, 53 right now, so that's something. I'll check back. Yeah, I'll check when it's like how much XP it's got after an hour. Yeah, very nice. Also, Foul Flesh is profit. Um, so is Revenant Viscera actually. Oh my god, Revenant Viscera is stupidly expensive. I think it's because of Spy, actually because of Enchanted String, more than anything. My town champion. Come on, die. Die, Mr. Revitor. Thank you. Another Undead Catalyst. I'm not really looking at Gene drops though. I do have my meter on Warden Heart, but it's only 11%, yeah. The thing with Warden Heart is it's a pain to get with RNG meter, because you need to do so many bosses, because it's an insane rare drop, unlike like literally every other drop in the game, which is just crazy rare. So yeah, it's just a pain to get. But I have dropped, I think I dropped 2 Warden Hearts in my time, which I have like 5 mil. Um, yeah, 5 mil Zombie Slayer XP, which is pretty decent. It's not, you know, the most crazy thing in the world, but it's not bad either. Another drop of Foul Flesh, nice. That pays for another 2 bosses. I'm interested to see actually if I profit or if I lose money from this too. Because I don't think I'm gonna be making like a crazy amount at least, but you know, would be nice if I were to profit. But also, I'm not really optimizing for mana refine, so you know. Odds are I'm not gonna profit, but that's fine. I just want to test it out for now. Die, Atoned Horror. There we go. So I have 1,000 intelligence. Oh, right, because my hype gives me like 600 when I hold it. I was like, what? Why do you have so much intelligence? But it's like, oh yeah, duh. Your hype gives you intelligence, bro. It's like, oh right, I forgot. It's a shame they had to like, it's not really a shame, honestly. I think it's a good, healthy change for the game. But there was a while, right, when they released the veteran attribute where you could rev trade. Actually, forever. You've been able to rev trade for like multiple years, right? Where you kill someone else's boss, and then they kill your boss, and then they summon their own boss because of that. And then you just kind of chain bosses together because, you know, you got enough combat XP from a single boss to just summon another boss, which just meant you were getting like stupid amounts of bosses per hour. It's extremely efficient, but yeah, they patched that out of the game because you were able to do it like all the time after the veteran attribute came out, and before you had to wait for Derpy, which meant you can only really do it a little bit. But yeah, then they patched it, so now I should play Bed Wars. I don't really like Bed Wars though; it's kind of boring. But they patched it, so now you can't get more than half of your combat EXP from a single mob. But that also has a side effect in specifically, well, and pretty much all Slayers, but very much prevalent in Zombie Slayer is that the best mob, the mini boss, I don't remember what it's called. But the highest tier mini boss normally summons your boss instantly. But that's not the case anymore. Yeah, this guy. Atoned Revenant. Normally he was like a guaranteed summon, because he gives you a stupid amount of combat HP too. But yeah, not anymore. Now he only gives you half again as well, so that's kind of sad. It's also an issue with like Enderman Slayer. It's not as much of an issue because it doesn't like summon your boss directly. It only gives you like a little bit over half, which meant it just got kind of nerfed by a little bit. But the good thing is you still get like all the combat XP. You just don't. Not all of it goes towards your boss summon meter. Yeah, you can actually summon Rev Horus very fast using hype. It's like way faster than what I used to do. I, for a long time, was just like doing Rev Slayer because I thought it was really fun. Like genuinely just because I thought it was really fun. And I was like optimizing my setup and like trying to get as much magic found as possible as I could. And like, I think I was using Warden Helm 3/4 Sorrow for a long time. But I was always using melee to summon the boss, which meant like the bosses always took a decent amount of time to spawn. I like to summon, but actually being able to like spawn them very fast with a hype is honestly very nice. It's like honestly the main thing I've been using hype for has just been summoning Slayer bosses. Like I haven't really used hype for much else, right? I've always used it for clearing and Kudra, but other than clearing Kudra, it's just been Slayer bosses I've used it for. Like summoning Slayer bosses or like healing. Or Slayer bosses. Which is kind of funny because it's like it's meant to be a combat weapon and I'm just like, nah, I'm just gonna use it for, you know, spawning. I'm not actually gonna use it for combat. Well, I guess spawning is technically combat, but like, you know, not combat in the traditional sense where you like use it to kill stuff. Or like, well, you do use it to kill. You know what I mean, probably. And if you don't, that's fine too. I realized what I was saying, like, stopped making sense a while ago, but slay bosses, I know. Slayer is very slay, honestly. Kinda slay. Run around and slay until something big comes and tries to slay you, and then you slay it before it can slay you, and then boom. You get drops, and then you hope that you get good drops, and if you don't, you lose money. But hey, it is what it is. I'm obviously just doing it right now to test if it's actually a good way to level golden dragons. I know it's like good way to get combat XP, and should therefore be good for leveling golden dragons, but I want to see how good it is, because like the meta for getting combat XP for a lot of people, especially pretty early to mid game people, is just doing Rev Slayer, because it gives way more combat XP than stuff like Wolf and Spider Slayer, and stuff like Enderman Slayer. It does give a lot of combat XP too, but it's a lot harder to do. So, I'm just running around doing this to check. It's also like, you can level golden dragons with Enderman Slayer, and that I have done that, but it is significantly slower than stuff like just ghost grinding. Or even like obby mining to a degree. But yeah. I hope Zombie Slayer is honestly better, because if it's not, it's a bit sad how like Zombie Slayer used to be like a really good way of both making money but also just like of progressing in the game, because combat HP was actually hard to get, and like Zombie Slayer was like the main way to get combat HP, but nowadays it's like it's just fallen so hard, man. There's just so many better ways to get combat XP, there's just so many better ways to like do these things. But yeah. Of at least like it's viable to some degree. Because it's a really fun Slayer, because you get kind of to do bosses constantly, um, which is really cool. Because like you can just run around, do like 100 bosses per hour. As you can see, my kills per hour is like 144 right now. It's like you just get to do so many bosses, and that just makes it really fun. So yeah, I hope it's just like at least somewhat viable. 16 foul flash at this point, but I've already dropped almost like 3 mil. It's really expensive to do Zombie Slayer. And like the drops don't always pay for it. Like in every other Slayer, you're not worrying about like, am I making money? It's like, how much money am I making? That's like the only thing you worry about. But in Zombie Slayer, you are genuinely worrying about like, am I making money? Because a lot of the time, you just aren't. Like you are so dependent on those big tier RNG drops and just like Scythe Blades, but mainly the Warden Heart, to actually make money from Zombie Slayer. But yeah, otherwise it's kind of fun. It's very fun. It's like very dopamine heavy because it's just like kill, 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 kill. There's just something very satisfying about just killing stuff constantly. There's a lot of people actually who've like pumped in a lot of hours into Zombie Slayer, because it genuinely is like one of the more fun parts of the game. It kind of falls in kind of that same category as hobby mining, where it's like it's pretty brainless because it's not very difficult, but you can kind of push it as well to kind of be more efficient. So you can kind of adjust how difficult you want to make it. Also stuff like, am I using a pet with a dwarf turtle shellmet or am I not? That also actually makes a big difference of how focused you have to be, because if you're using a dwarf turtle shellmet, it's a lot easier, but obviously you can't get like bonus magic find from something like a clover or like bonus combat XP from a combat XP boost, or you know, all these things. But it also has like a lot of strats to it. Like you can really do Zombie Slayer in so many ways because it's so like easy. You can really like sacrifice damage and your damage output for just magic find, for example. And I do actually think I'm gonna do one more piece of Sorrow, mainly because I want to get a little bit more magic find, but also because the 2 veteran I get, or like the 1.5 combat wisdom I get from a boost really doesn't matter too much, and I don't need damage. Like that's pretty clear with how fast I'm doing these bosses. They take like 5-6 seconds each. That one took a little bit longer, but yeah, no, still 5-6 seconds. And just like having something like a combat streak going, like a wisdom going, you know, helps a lot. I am losing Dominus Swipe, which does kind of suck, but on the other hand, Cleave is also refreshing it constantly, so it's not really that big of a deal. Do I not have Cleave on this thing? No, I do have Cleave. Cleave 5. Right there. Thank God. If I didn't have Cleave, I would have yelled at myself. Oh my god, I killed 6 enemies with that one right click. God damn. But yeah, that was like a case where I was talking about that thing where they did the combat XP nerf. That was a case where it probably would have spawned a bit faster. Okay, bye bye. I hope you have fun with whatever you're doing. I'm gonna keep going for like... What was it? Was it 48 I started? I think it was 48 I started doing this, right? I don't remember. I'm just gonna say it's 48. Might have been 58? I don't remember. I'm gonna keep going until this hour is up. Woo! Also, it is very much boosting my total Slayer XP by a lot doing this. Not that it actually matters for anything, except like, I think Snyder rate or something counts it. But yeah, it really doesn't matter. It's just, you know, number go up. Number go burr. Oh. Boss spawned. Wow. That's so cool. And now you are dead. No drops, sadly. extra sorrow piece should give me around, I think, like 7 more magic find or something like that. Which is not a huge deal, but it does help. Every little bit helps, obviously. Also, now I get the set bonus. The kind of funny. I get the set bonus technically, which gives me damage reduction against ghosts. Which obviously doesn't matter at all in this case, but hey, I have it. I think you're technically supposed to go invisible. Hide the wares in the guise of mist, multiply damage from ghost by 0.6. Which is actually quite a big damage reduction, but, you know, ghost obviously, you don't really need to worry too much about staying alive with ghost, because you heal so much. You heal like 10% of your health every time you kill one. But yeah, otherwise it's very nice. I'll equip my tiger. I am equipping my golden dragon egg, right? Yeah. I already have 40% of a level actually, which is pretty decent when I'm this high up, like this close to getting this level 100. That's like basically 40% of a normal level as well, because I don't have the combat XP boost obviously. So there's like no there for some reason. Also, I think it actually makes more sense for me just to hype the mini bosses. Obviously, I can't hype the boss itself, but I think it might just make more sense for me to hype the mini bosses and not bother swapping to my access is shredded, because like, you know, I still do like 6 mil at like 600k damage with my hype. I think. Maybe not. I don't actually know. I know hype at least used to work not very long ago with Crimson Swipe. Oh my god, I got a Scythe Blade. Wow, okay, I think that's like the third or something ever one I've dropped. What the fuck? Okay, I didn't expect that. I can make a research life now. Just need a stack of Reverse Errant, 3 Reaper Falchions. Wow, okay, that was unexpected. I mean, we take it. That wasn't even very good magic find, that was 165. That's kind of bad. Oh yeah, and I just realized I already had Renowned on my boots before, so I'm only getting like 5 more magic find because of the Renowned Sorrow piece. But yeah, wow, that's actually crazy. I did not expect that at all. That actually gives me another idea. Maybe I should do using like Black Cat for killing it. And then trying to day swap. I could try that actually. Just to kind of boost my odds even more. What do you have on Black Cat? I think I have Clover and Black Cat though, right? It's mythic as well, so it should be. Wait, I never picked up my Black Cat from Kate? Oh, I don't think I ever picked up my Black Cat for Kate. Yeah, right here. Mythic Black Cat. Yeah, let's go. Gain 50% more collection items from Monster 2. Kind of pointless, but hey. I do want to try Black Cat. It also give me 21 comp. What? 21 EXP? Is that how much pet power a mythic one gives? How much is it? I don't even know. I say, yeah, I have +9 magic find now. Nice. I think I got an extra magic find from that actually. But yeah, I'm kind of tempted to try to do Black Cat with Lucky Clover, because that could give me like an extra 50 magic find or something actually. Which is kind of huge. I don't have the luxury of Dwarf Kill Shelmet though. Maybe Slime Hat is worth it? Nah, probably not. My boss time should be a bit slower with this, or with Black Cat though. We'll see. I mean, it's still the spawning phase that's like by far the longest one. Also, yeah, now I have to actually day swap, which requires a little bit of intention. I think I got it there, but no drops. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been talking about before as well. It's like being able to adjust how hard you want to make it. And that's very much like a big benefit of Zombie Slayer, because you really can like adjust it how to be as hard as you want it to be. You're not limited. Also, yeah, holy sh... That's a crazy amount more magic find. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. 232? What? That's way more than I thought it would be as well. Cause like, that wasn't with like a kill combo or something, was it? No, that was without kill combo. Yeah, my kill combo had expired. Wow. Jesus Christ. That is insane amount of magic find. Like, I knew it was gonna be a big boost, but like, I didn't think it would be that big of a boost. I feel like there's something wrong with that number. I feel like that's too high. Because, like, I guess I am getting an extra 6 as well because of Divine Gift. But if I just equip Black Cat, for example, and I look at my Dayax, it's plus 41 actually from a Dayax. So yeah, it's like 60 something. Yeah, okay, so I guess that adds up. Yeah. Wow. Just really high. I guess that's what you get for, like, wearing Sorrow as well. It is pretty much as good as a Golden Dragon with the Clover as well, so I guess, yeah. It adds up, it's just, that's way more than I thought. Can't find Black Cat. Try revisiting pages. Yeah, okay, sure. Sure, NEO. I will do that whenever I need to change pets. Yeah. That's pretty crazy. I definitely think that's worth it for like 5 seconds longer bosses, though. Because, like, right, so like the bosses do last a decent bit longer, right? They're 11 seconds instead, but that's so much extra magic find. And like it's still spawning that takes the longest anyway, so I don't think it's too bad. It's obviously not. Oh wait, I got a ghoul pet? When did I drop a ghoul pet? Wait, what? Huh? Wait, when did I drop a ghoul pet? The fuck? Huh? When? Where? What? There! What? I didn't even notice. I dropped a ghoul pet. Okay. Sure. Cool, I guess. I mean, it's worthless, but like, that's cool. Very unexpected though. So yeah, there we go. The Venomous change also actually helps a lot with that. Because I used to still like day swap, back when I did a lot of Zombie Slayer. Because I had a day axe as well at that point. I did it a lot with my first Golden Dragon I got, because I rushed a Golden Dragon very early on in my Skyblock career, if you can say that. Oh, so I'm getting absolutely bodied by this horror. But yeah, I got my Golden Dragon very, very early on in my career compared to a lot of players. So yeah, I was doing Zombie Slayer with it for a while. Obviously bought a day axe as well for that extra magic find. Yeah, like I used to get like a lot of magic find, but it was a pain to day swap. I remember, because like it was very inconsistent and like you dealt no damage with the day axe. It was just kind of a pain. But it's actually not that bad now because of Venomous. Like sometimes it literally used to heal whenever it like enraged, for example. Oh wait, what's that? Oh, Pestilence Rune. I think that changed the look of that now. That looked very different. Looked kind of modern. I can check my rune pouch actually. I don't remember the Pestilence Rune being like all fancy. Rune sack here. I don't see the Pestilence Rune though. I have a Lava Tear apparently. There, Pestilence Rune. Oh no, that's normal. Okay, I don't know. Just look different. Probably just schizophrenic. That happens sometimes. Yeah. Also, I'm not dying to that explosion, which sometimes I would do because I was like getting too overzealous. I was like, I can do this easily. This is not a problem. Then it's like I would just blow up and die, which is kind of unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. Now me kind of swapping around pets for Magic Find, like doing Magic Find instead of just kind of sticking to full combat XP will kind of skew my results in terms of my Golden Dragon as well, but I do think an extra 60 Magic Find makes up for it, because like that's so much extra Magic Find. Magic Find is genuinely huge, especially for Zombie Slayer. Okay, where is my boss going? It's a little annoying with Revenant or Town Taurus because they have so much speed and like Minecraft AI kind of sucks. They just kind of run away sometimes, which obviously can lead to some pretty slow boss times when it comes to, you know, the average Zombie Slayer boss. But yeah. It's nice having your own lobby as well, though. You're not competing against other players for like um, spawn mobs, which can be very annoying, especially like in Enderman Slayer, because like it's very hard to find your own lobby with Enderman Slayer. Like sometimes like straight up impossible. Obviously because of private hubs, it's very easy to get your own private lobby for like spawning Zombie Slayer, which is, you know, just kind of nice. It's kind of, you know, just very nice in general. Means you can spawn a lot faster than you otherwise would be able to. Yeah. I'm not leveling up a pet right now though, because I'm using Black Cat instead of Tiger. The advantage with using Tiger obviously was that I was actually gaining combat XP on it, or gaining levels on it. But I'm not doing that anymore, obviously. But again, 60 Magic Find. I think that makes up for it. Like, I just have like a sneaking suspicion 60 Magic Find might make up for it. That stupid amount of Magic Find. Also, that is so satisfying. Whenever I like wait a bit and there's like a lot of mobs grouped up and you just hype them all, just like kill 7 mobs or something with one hype right click. This is very satisfying. But yeah, my bosses per hour here have dropped about like 20, but I still think I think that's pretty reasonable. Also that's Smite 6. Very useless, but hey, we got one. Cool. Kind of interesting. I got a Scythe Blade before I got a Smite 6. Like, you normally get like 17,000 Smite 6s before you get anything good, but you know, it's a nice change of pace. Okay. Die. Thank you. Like 500k HP in your RNG meter also just looks kind of crazy, but obviously with Zombie Slayer it's really not that much, because you need 3.6 million XP to get a guaranteed heart, which is, you know, just a little more than 500k. But obviously it has to be done like that. But it's kind of funny with like the RNG meter and Zombie Slayer specifically, because the RNG meter is generally balanced on the fact that you get like 500. Oh, so, oops. That you get like 500 or Slayer XP. Which means that stuff like Foul Flesh, for example, or like the equivalent of Foul Flesh for other Slayer bosses, for example, normally takes about like, you know, 3k EXP to get from RNG meter. That stuff like Toxic Arrow Poison from Spiders, or like, you know, Twilight Arrow Poison from Enderman Slayer, right? Like those kind of things, they normally take, I think, like 3k, and it takes 3k as well for Zombie Slayer. But because you're not getting 500 EXP per boss, you're getting 1500 EXP per boss. It means that you, instead of having to do like 6 bosses to guarantee like a Flower Flash drop, you only have to do like 2, maybe like 2.5. Which is obviously significantly less compared to other bosses, and actually means that if the Foul Press price goes over like 50k a pop, it can sometimes make sense to just put your RNG meter on Foul Flash. Which is kind of funny, because it's like, yeah, okay, that's not something that usually makes sense at all, but because of how, EXP works with Zombie Slayer, which is different compared to every other Slayer in the game, it does actually make sense to do it that way. Especially for Ironman, because like if you already dropped like a Warden's Heart, for example, on your way to Zombie 9, which is genuinely lucky if you drop a Warden's Heart before Zombie 9. On average, I think you're supposed to go like a million EXP over or something, with like average Magic Find. Obviously, if you're better Magic Find, you don't have to do quite as much, but like genuinely, like it's not rare for you to have to like go a few million combat, or a few million Zombie Slayer EXP over to get your Warden's Heart drop. But if you are lucky enough to get it before like Zombie Slayer 9, for example, you have a bunch of Zombie Slayer XP. And the only thing you can really use from Zombie Slayer at that point, well, obviously you still need like Scythe Blades, for example, and you know, you probably should put your RNG meter on that, but let's just say you both have a Warden Hearts and you have the Scythe Blades, or you're not going for the Scythe Blade accessory for some reason. What are you gonna do with Zombie Slayer XP from then on? Well, you don't really, like, you could go for Smite 7s, which I mean does make sense, but like, you don't really need Smite 7 for anything but like a hype, so you only really need one. But there's a bunch of options, but another very viable option is just going for Foul Flash, because you can seriously get a lot of Foul Flash, and you rely on minions for so many things on Ironman specifically. And it's one of those fuels that you can get pretty cheaply and very reliably, and is honestly pretty decent. Like, it's a pretty decent upgrade compared to just something like, you know, buckets, right? Lava buckets. And can help you genuinely when you're like, you're waiting for a collection minion, or you're waiting for, I don't know, Blaze minions for Molten Powder, or Magma Cube minions, or even just Slime minions for money if that's something you need on Iron Man. Which, I mean, you do need money on Iron Man, right? You need stuff for like Darker Auctions, Dark Auctions in general, Shen's Auction when you're very late game. And like, if you don't feel like mining a bunch, you also need a bunch of money for stuff like dungeon drops. So there's reasons why you might want to go slime minions. Although it's generally not as advised as the normal profile, since you can't just convert that money into mats when you eventually need, a bajillion blaze powder for zombie, or Blaze Slayer, for example. But if you want to, you obviously can. And then there are something like Foul Flash obviously helps a lot. Which means it can very much genuinely make sense to put your RNG meter on Foul Flash. Specifically with Zombie. In general, you don't want to, though, with any other Slayer, because it doesn't really make sense, right? Like, comparatively, with something like E-Man Slayer, for example, you're not going to need that much Twilight Arrow Poison. Like, it has an okay NPC sell price, but then again, it's only okay. You only get like 50k. And generally, you want, for example, you want multiple terms, and stuff like E-Man Slayer 7 makes more, is like, more valuable in a lot of cases than just, than like Smite 7, for example. And there's also stuff like Smarty Pants books, which you need on like all your sets, and there's a lot more things that you would rather go for than Twilight Arrow Poison. Mainly because obviously Twilight Arrow Poison doesn't really have a use, and like the only use it has is really sell to NPC, or like in, very high tier Kudra, but like you should drop more than enough Twilight Arrow Poison to do a bunch of Kudra ones on your way to like E-Man 9, so that shouldn't really be a problem. So yeah, it's just really Zombie Slayer where that low tier drop is actually something you can use. And it's kind of unfortunate because the RNG meter very much is designed for like, big ticket items. It's designed to make stuff like Warden Heart and stuff like Judgment Cores and those big ticket items less frustrating and less just RNG heavy, and make them actually something you can grind towards, and obviously make a tangible dent in a grind and like a session, right? Like you're meant to be able to go towards those drops. Like you're not just, not making any progress at all. Um, right? You're meant to feel like you're actually making progress towards those drops, which the RNG very much helps with. But because of how it's been designed, and it's been designed with like those big ticket item drops in mind, it also means, right, like the RNG meter resets every single time you get your RNG meter drop, which is not an issue for Warden Heart, right? Because you're only setting that once and then you're out of there. But for something like Foul Flesh, you are gonna want a lot of Foul Flesh drops, like, a lot of Foul Flesh drops, which means because you can obviously get like Foul Flesh every second boss, guaranteed dropped, it means that you're a lot more like you have to keep setting the RNG meter over and over and over again, because like every second boss you have enough EXP to get another Foul Flesh, which means every 2 bosses you have to, set your RNG meter again, because you obviously, you drop the item and then you're waiting for the RNG meter, which means you're actually like, it has a pretty significant impact on your boss times if you're going for stuff like Foul Flesh, for example. And it's obviously made even worse by the fact that Zombie Slayer is as fast as it is, right? Like 100 bosses per hour, right? You have to set your RNG meter 50 times in an hour. That gets a little bit tedious after a while, right? Like after the 50th time, right? Like you're like, okay, this is getting annoying. And yeah, it's just kind of a shame and kind of like a byproduct of how the RNG meter has been designed. And just kind of an oversight in general. I know Further Virus complained about this in one of his feature videos as well. So I definitely do think the admins are aware of it, but it's just kind of, it's not something that's super high priority, because it's really only with this one Slayer and this one drop that it's something you might want to go for. But it's actually, I mean, you might also want to do it with something like Revisera, which costs a little bit more. I think it's like 3 bosses worth of EXP or something. We can actually check. Yeah, you can see here, Foul Flesh, 3000 EXP. Whereas, yeah, okay, Ronin Flesh is like a little bit higher than that, but basically the same, right? And you do need a lot of Flesh, Revisera, sorry, for, stuff like your Warden Helmet, stuff like Reaper Scythe. And, you're gonna want that drop maybe 50 times or something. It gets kind of frustrating. It's just a little bit of an oversight. And I do think the admins are eventually going to change it, or like allow you to just keep your RNG meter in the same thing so you don't have to manually change it. And at that point, you might even see normal profiles start doing it. Start like keeping your RNG meter on Foul Flesh, because like it might genuinely be a pretty good way of making money. It's at least a way of making guaranteed money with something like Zombie Slayer, because otherwise you're obviously very much reliant on getting that Warden Heart drop, and that can be, not very helpful if you're an early game and you just need 10 mil to, I don't know, get a Shadow Ass chest plate or something like that. Then you would probably much rather just like do a 50 bosses for like an hour or something, and get enough money just from the Foul Flesh alone, than you would, having to do Zombie Slayer for 10, 15 hours, maybe even more, hoping for that Warden Heart drop that you're not even guaranteed to get. For then, obviously you're going to get a lot more money, but, sometimes you just need a little bit of money, and the fact that you can't really get that from Zombie Slayer, you have to, wait until you get that big ticket item. It's basically like that for Air Slayer, but especially for Zombie Slayer as well. Yeah, you might actually, like, if they change it, see normal people use that, like put their RNG meter on Foul Flesh, because it's a pretty useful item, and because it obviously has a very good NPC sell price, and you drop like 4 at a time, which means you're getting up to like 100k per drop, right? Like this stack on its own is like 1.2 mil to NPC, which is generally pretty decent and like covers quite a lot of bosses, for example. And that's just from like what I've dropped normally. And that has not been every second boss at all. It's been like way less than that, right? Like imagine if every single boss I've killed here in the past, what's that, like 40, 45 minutes had dropped like a Foul Slash, then I would have a lot more Foul Slash. And it could actually almost, I think, maybe even pay for all the bosses I've done, and maybe even a bit more. But yeah, just something to rant about. More issues to complain about to the admins. But yeah, it's also the new the change that they have on alpha right now, the garden change. Which I personally I'm very excited for because I hate farming and something, you know, the critters. They could make it a little bit more interesting because then it's not just holding down two buttons. Then, you know, instead of it being every 5 minutes to do one visitor, you can actually, you know, have to do something relatively often, right? Like, you know, then there's both visitors and pests. And then obviously if you get bonus pest chance, you can do it even more than every 5 minutes. Also, my inventory is filled up with my flesh now, which is actually pretty decent. Has a pretty decent price, but you know, it's only really pretty decent. It's not anything major. I think all that rotten flesh plays for one boss, and that's rotten flesh I've gotten from dungeons as well. It's rotten flesh I've gotten, you know, from not just these bosses I've done today. But yeah, so Revisera is very nice. I've gotten quite a few, but like not that many Revisera drops compared to what I probably should have gotten, like with the amount of Foul Flesh, for example. Like you should get about, you know, I think it's 1/3, maybe a little bit less, maybe 1/4. As much Revisera as you should Foul Flesh. But obviously my drop rate has been quite a bit lower than that for now. I've just gotten a little unlucky, I think, but it is what it is. I might have also just have gotten lucky with Foul Flesh, I don't know. Obviously I got a side plate, which is nice. And has definitely paid for all these bosses on its own, which is also very nice. And yeah, I haven't seen my Golden Dragon level up though, which is, you know, not optimal. But it's good, getting a decent amount of XP. You can definitely tell. So I feel like my routing on this boss has been kind of dog shit. Okay, I've gotten just very unlucky on this boss summon. Wow. I got one mini boss there. That's a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. More Revisera. I was talking about something and I forgot completely. Yeah, that boss took 50 seconds to spawn. Ugh. Yikes. Sometimes it's just like that though. Can't really force the game to give you mini bosses. It's kind of a weird algorithm to use with mini bosses though, because I know like mini bosses are more common. The more combat XP you get from the mob you kill, right? That's why you can mini boss chain, for example. Why that happens. It's because your odds of spawning a mini boss from a mini boss is a lot higher, because the mini boss obviously gives a lot more combat XP. But it's also like it's not directly proportional, right? Like it's not just like, okay, you need to get, you know, I don't know, you know, you have an X% chance, and then if you double the combat XP, your chance is now all of a sudden doubled. That's not how it works, because then you would probably be guaranteed to do stuff like mini boss chain, right? And it's not like really a meter that's like, okay, you're guaranteed to get a mini boss after you've killed something like you've gotten this much combat XP. But it's also like it's just a very weird algorithm that I haven't really wrapped my head around, and I don't think many people really know how it works. It's just kind of weird. It's also one of those things that's kind of been in the game forever. And I mean, it works fine, but, you know, it's definitely one of those areas of the game that's very much, like, obscured. And, like, Skyblock has had very much, like, in the beginning, Skyblock had so many problems with, like, things just not being clear to the players, right? Like, you had no idea. Stuff like summoning eyes never got explained to the players, right? Like, people had to figure that out on their own. Stuff like how to obtain certain RNG drops, or certain drops from, like, Slayer bosses wasn't clear. People had to figure that out on their own. There was, like, talismans that people didn't know how to get. Right? Like, there has been a lot of those cases where it's kind of like just been really unclear to the players, like, what's actually new, how do you actually do this thing? And it's not like, unclear like in the way, the Halloween event was unclear because, it was puzzles. It's just unclear because it just wasn't explained, even if it's like something that should have very much been explained. And like the same with dungeons, right? Right when dungeons came out, people didn't know like how to do dungeons, right? Like people didn't understand the scoring because that like it might have been gotten explained, but it got explained in a very poor way. Um, and like people didn't understand drops, like really how chests work as well. Like people figured it out pretty quickly because it's pretty intuitive, right? Like highest score equals better chests, but people didn't know like if the drop chances got increased with a higher score, right? Like people didn't know all these things, and like the admins, kind of slowly explained that over time. But you also like as a new player, for example, you had no idea what you could. Oh my god. What? A Smite 7? Okay. I mean, we take those. It's not nearly as expensive as it used to be. It used to be like 15 mil, but nice. I'm gonna hang on to that though, because I do know it's Aatrox, so basically every single drop is like worthless. Maybe besides like a Warden's Heart of the Judgment Cores, but yeah. Wow, okay. That's nice. That definitely means I've earned quite a decent amount of money from this hour of just doing revs though. Which is pretty cool. So there's golden powder. Oh my god. I'm just getting all the drops. I mean, golden powder is worthless, obviously, but yeah. It's kind of funny because specifically with golden powder, I've saved every single golden powder I've ever dropped. In my, I think it's almost 5 million HP of Rev Slayer at this point. How much HP do I have? Yeah, like 4.7 million HP of Rev Slayer. I've saved every single golden powder I've dropped. And it's like, it's a really rare drop. Like, when you actually think about how, like, many zombies it takes to spawn a boss, like, it's generally super rare, right? Like, powders. It does not happen often. It's not like a drop you can just, like, go in and grind and then, like, be guaranteed to get it within, like, an hour or something. It's very much something that, like, if you're on Ironman, for example, and you haven't done Zombie Slayer, like, you're not gonna just get like a Florid Zombie Sword. Like, you're not just gonna do that. Like, you have to get lucky. And it was actually worth quite a lot. Like, Golden Powder was worth quite a lot for a decent amount of time because it was so rare. But then obviously over time, stuff like the Florid Zombie Sword became more common. People got faster doing Zombie Slayer. More people did Zombie Slayer. More people could do Zombie Slayer because there was a while where like people couldn't even do Zombie Slayer. Like, it was genuinely a hard Slayer, right, when it came out. Like, people were dying, right, because like they had Superior, they had like a Mana Flux Orb maybe, and like yeah, that was most of the time enough, but you still had something like a minute bosses because like it took time. And there was also stuff like you had to rely on the Maddox Bat Phone. And for the longest time, like literally over a year after Slayers came out, you had to wait when using the Maddox Bat Phone. There was a cooldown on the Maddox Bat Phone. And like right when it came out, it was like 3 minutes. Like, it was absurd. Like, imagine only being able to do a Zombie Slayer every 3 minutes. And you having to call up Maddox every single time you want to do a boss. And then you can only do one every 3 minutes because it was on cooldown. And then if you misclicked, right, like, you know how the menu closes, and it's still an issue to this day that the Maddox menu, like the Slayer menu, closes when it's not supposed to. Like whenever you cancel a boss, for example, it closes. Whenever that happened, you had to wait another 3 minutes to be able to contact him, which was just like, oh my god, please. It was such a pain, and it very much meant that like level 7 Slayers early on was a very big flex because it took a lot longer. Like you're not getting more than like 10 boss kills per hour, right? Like maybe, well, you probably were getting a little bit more. Maybe you're getting like 20 boss kills per hour, but like not much more than that. And like people were, struggling. Like Zombie Slayer is expensive, and it was even more expensive back in the day, right? Like back in the day, you were making maybe, a few mil per hour, maybe 5 mil per hour when it went crazy, right? Like nowadays you're making 30 mil per hour and it's like still expensive. Back then it was only half the price, but like there was not good money making methods, right? And like you weren't making that much money, right? You made money obviously if you dropped something like a Scythe Blade, but not everyone dropped a Scythe Blade, right? Like it was extremely expensive, right? You got way less EXP, right? Like you only got. Okay, this lobby just started lagging. You only got that. Also, it just opened up. I realized that's why there's a guy here. I'm gonna switch lobbies now. It's a little annoying when that happens, but it does happen relatively often. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I also think the hour is almost up, and yeah, I've gotten 83% of a level. That's like it's not bad. Hasn't been great, right? And the only real reason this has been probably worth my time has been the Smite 7 and the Scythe Blade, which was arguably pretty lucky, but hey, we take it. We take those. It's kind of funny how like these two RNG drops, right? Like they're kind of as rare as like Chalice, and I think they're a little bit rarer than Chalice and the skins from like Eman Slayer. But like they're worth way more just because they actually have a use. Like, yeah. It's kind of a shame with the Eman Slayer talismans because like Eman 9 is so good, so many people have gone for Eman 9, and if you're going for Eman 9, you're gonna drop like 10, 10 to 20 Pocket Espresso machines, and you're gonna drop at least 5 of those Handy Blood Chalices. Like, you are dropping so many of them. It just means that, like, because they also, locked behind this Eman Slayer level, like, they're just not worth very much. Even though they're, like, really good talisman, they're just not worth very much because, like, they're just too common. And that's really, like, a shame with, like, Eman Slayer. It's, like, the only RNG drops that are worth pretty much anything is, like, Ender Slayer 7, which is absolutely insanely rare, and then the Judgment Core. It's like, oh, but there's also Enchant Rune. It's like, yeah, I think Enchant Rune goes like 5 mil or something, but for how rare it is, it's like stupidly cheap, right? Like, how much is it? Can't see that, huh? Can't see how much it is. I could probably look at it on my H. Enchant Rune. And it's like a very low moving item too. Right, like 6 mil. 6 mil for an enchant rune. Like, what? That's nothing. For like a drop that's as rare as the enchant rune is, it's nothing. Right? It's just a shame, really. But yeah, the good thing is, though, with Zombie Slayer is that all RNG drops are actually worth something. Like, there's not a single, I think maybe the Rune, right? The Rune isn't worth like pretty much anything, but all the other like crazy rare drops actually have like decent values, right? Like Smite 7 is worth 7 mil, right? Like the Scythe Blade is worth like another 7 mil, right? Like for like being an early game Slayer and stuff, like 7 mil is a decent amount of money. It's nothing like crazy, but it's not bad. And then obviously there's the Warden Heart, which is still worth like a crazy amount of money. And then there's like the Shards of the Shredded, which are also worth a pretty decent amount. I don't know how much they are, but they're like, I think, can you see it in here? Yeah, like, yeah, they're like 12 mil, right? Like, that's pretty good, you know? But yeah. That's also something I really like about Zombie Slayer. It's like you're not like you are reliant on RNG obviously, but you're not as reliant on RNG as like Enderman Slayer. Which is I feel like with Enderman Slayer, it's kind of like you're always making a little bit of money, but like you either are making like 2 mil per hour or you're making 300 mil per hour, right? Like it's very much, you know, a little bit, a little bit shitty, and you can't, you know, with the core, you can't guarantee you drop it, right? Like there's obviously RNG meter, and it's not that bad with RNG meter, but like to get a guaranteed core, you still have to do 800,000 Immense Slayer EXP, which is a lot of Immense Slayer EXP, so yeah. It's just a little shitty. But that's also like a good thing about Blaze Slayer, right? Like Blaze Slayer kind of has, kind of like the complete opposite of Immense Slayer, where it's like the actual big ticket items don't really exist, right? There's the Archfiend dice, which is worth a bit. I think it's like worth 80 mil or something. At least used to be like it used to be worth like 200 mil. It might have dropped a bit. It probably has dropped quite a bit since the Inferno menu change, but you know, let's actually go hard class. It's still worth like a decent amount. Yeah, okay. 40 mil, right? Like that's not nothing crazy, but it's a decent amount of money. But it's probably just gonna drop. It's probably gonna keep dropping for a pretty good while, but yeah. It's a decent amount still. But then other than that, you know, like Blaze Slayer, you're really like you're making money from those very rare drops, right? You're making money from duplex, you're making money from yeah, like all those, you know, Mana Disintegrators, you're making money from Scorched Books, right? You're making money from all those like pretty common, um yet like actually quite valuable items, right? Like for how common the items Blaze Slayer are, they're very valuable. Whereas like Zombie Slayer is like kind of a middle ground between Blaze Slayer and Demon Slayer, because it does have a big ticket item in the Warden Heart. But it also has those more common items which are actually worth a pretty decent amount, right? Like obviously there's like some of the like the very rare drops aren't generally worth anything, but the all crazy rare drops have a decent price. And then there's obviously the rare drops in Zombie Slayer, which is actually worth quite a decent bit, right? With like, you know, Revisera worth 90k and your drop up to 2, so you can get like 180k from, you know, a rare drop. That's pretty good. And like, you know, Foul Slash being worth also, you know, upwards of 100k to NPC, right? Like that's pretty good. 100k for a common drop. That's not bad. But yeah. Obviously, it's not, you know, as good as Blaze Slayer, where it's like, oh, you get Distillate and it's, you know, all the time and it's worth a good amount, and then you know, you get a very rare item and it's worth 10 mil, right? Like that doesn't happen in Zombie Slayer, but, you know, still. With the amount of bosses you can do in Zombie Slayer, right? Like, generally, your average, you know, amount of money you make from a boss is not bad. Right? Like the minimum with Zombie Slayer is a lot less bad in that sense. Like it's not as drastic of a change as it is in Immense Slayer. Because in Immense Slayer, it's either you get a core or you don't. Whereas in Zombie Slayer, you know, you can at least get like decent, okay RNG drops, and still make like a decent amount, right? Kind of like I've gotten, right? Like with a Scythe and a Smite book. So yeah. Also, I think the hour's up, and yeah, so it's about like probably around like 1.3 to 1.4, maybe a little bit higher, depending on how much you really focus on leveling the Golden Dragon. It's a decent amount of combat experience, it's not bad. I still don't think it's as good as like Ghosts, which is a bit of a shame, but you know, it does get the job done at least. It's not terrible at all. And like the good thing about Zombie Slayer 2 is that you can, you know, actually use the Golden Dragon for like doing the bosses, for example. So when it hatches, it's also, you know, very useful. But yeah, obviously it is still Zombie Slayer. Like it's still meant to be a pretty early game. method. So like even if you kind of sweat it, try hard it, you're not gonna really get that much more money. But it's decent. Like it's decent. It is decent. But I still think like ghost grinding is like gonna be better for the majority of people who can do ghost grinding, obviously. But ghost grinding has also kind of been falling off for a while, which has been a shame because like I really used to enjoy ghost grinding. Like I enjoyed ghost grinding a lot, right? Like I almost have max beast here at this point, which is pretty decent for the stage of the game I'm in. But it's just like it still makes a good amount of money, but stuff like obby mining and stuff like mining in general has just kind of taken over. Even though my ghost grinding setup has gotten better over time, right? It's gotten some decent boost. Stuff like, you know, I have a God Roll Crimson Chestplate, right? Like I have better attributes. I have Chimera free on my Daedalus Axe, right? Like I have some pretty decent tier stuff, right? Like I do, I do ghost grinding with Day Axe, right? I do ghost grinding with 2-4 Sorrow, right? Like it's still not making, you know, pretty much any more money, right? In some ways, is it making a little bit less because of like, you know, Golden Dragon prices falling so much, and like, you know, I might be getting more sorrows, but the price of sorrows has also dropped, right? You used to be able to very consistently get at least 500k per sorrow. Nowadays, you know, it's like, you know, 400, 420k when it goes high, right? Like it's not that much money when you actually really think about it. And especially because of the Golden Dragon drop, like the price in Golden Dragon levels, that has dropped as much as it has. It's been, right, like Ghost Grind has just been suffering. It's a real shame, but it is what it is. But yeah. Anyway, I think I'm gonna finish off this level, this G-Drag level, and then I'm gonna follow the stream. But yeah. Die. I'm actually almost at 475k, or 4,750k zombie Slayer XP, which is kind of exciting, in a way. I do hope at some point they add like more Slayer levels, especially for Zombie Slayer, um, because Zombie Slayer kind of really needs it, because it's really easy to get Zombie 9, right? Like it is really easy to get Zombie 9, and like how fun I feel like Zombie Slayer is, like there's not much reason doing it, especially as like a late game player, because it's also like it makes like pretty mid money. It's not like that good. Like it's not terrible. Like it's not bad at all. But like you're gonna kill the bosses quite fast, and like you're gonna do a bunch of bosses per hour, but your profits don't really rise too much because you're so dependent on like, you know, Aatrox for example. Like it's just so expensive to do, and like there's a lot of issues with Zombie Slayer, and that way that kind of means it doesn't scale very well into the late game. Um, which is just kind of sucks really. This is really fun. It really is, but it just don't have much reason to do it. So I hope they add like a level 10 or something to Zombie Slayer, where it's like, you know, maybe you can go all the way to 5 million XP, or maybe just like 2 million XP or something for level 10, if you want to make it a little bit more reasonable, and then like, I don't know, maybe make it so you get, I don't know, like a decent perk, right? Maybe it's just for Skyblock XP, maybe it's just, you know, like look happy or something, you know, maybe it's like the same as Spider 9, where it's just like, oh, you get a little bit of extra alchemy XP. Maybe it's like, oh, you get extra fishing XP. You know, like fishing XP it's kind of rough, especially for early game players. So like, hey, maybe make Zombie 10 give you a bunch of fishing wisdom. That could be cool. I don't know. Maybe it's a little
little too creative. I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, I hope they add like a zombie 9 or zombie 10. Also, yeah, there's my G-Drag level. That also means this is going to be my final boss. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the stream overall. Yeah, no drops on the last one, but that's fine. Hope you enjoyed the stream. I got my egg, I think, up 2 levels or something. So now it's like three levels off level 100, and I can start actually using Golden Dragon again, which is going to be nice. But yeah, overall, I hope you enjoyed. Pretty chill stream. It's been a long time since I've done Zombie Slayer, so it was fun to come back to it. But yeah, yeah. I hope you have a good day, and I hope you I don't know, can find something fun to do. And yeah, if you have anything, any suggestions or something for how I should try to level a golden dragon or something similar, feel free to leave them in the comments of the stream. I do actually see there's a surprising amount of people who like click on VODed streams. I don't know if it's like YouTube just pushing it and people clicking on it by accident, but hey, if you are watching this stream after it's been already recorded, shoutouts to you. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, feel free to leave comments if there's something you want me to test out or do or whatever. And yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.